You know, in those moments when we're at our most vulnerable, we put an incredible amount of trust in modern medicine. But behind every life-saving machine and every critical diagnosis, there's a hidden hero: accuracy. And in the world of medical devices, getting it right isn't just a goal, it's everything.
It's a good question, right? I mean, on one hand, you've got this super complex machine in a hospital, and on the other, a little gadget you might have in a drawer at home. They feel like they're worlds apart. And we're talking about a universe of like 1.5 million different medical devices out there. But they all share one critical, absolutely non-negotiable feature.
Yep, that's it. Whether it's a machine delivering the exact amount of oxygen to keep someone breathing, or a meter telling a diabetic exactly what their blood sugar is, even a tiny mistake can lead to huge problems. This fundamental need for pinpoint accuracy is really the bedrock of patient safety.
So let's be really clear about this. This isn't a game of close enough. When we're talking about medical technology, the stakes are just way too high. Inaccuracy is not an option.
So what happens when that accuracy fails? Well, the dominoes start to fall, and fast. A miscalibrated machine could miss a tumor, leading to a wrong diagnosis. An infusion pump that's just a little bit off could deliver the wrong dose of medicine, making a treatment useless. Every single error puts patients at risk, and it also creates a massive headache of regulatory and legal trouble for everyone involved.
And the financial hit? Oh, it's staggering. For a manufacturer, just one single issue found during an audit, one piece of equipment that's not compliant, can cost them $100,000 or more. That's a huge incentive to get things right, but we all know the real cost here isn't measured in dollars.
And this isn't just hypothetical. Get this, in a real-world case, a major company found that a shocking 15% of their equipment was out of tolerance because of bad oversight. This wasn't just some paperwork problem, it kicked off a full-blown federal investigation and caused chaos. It just goes to show how quickly things can spiral out of control. Okay, so we've seen the risks, we know what happens when things go wrong. So how do we make sure they go right? Well, the answer comes down to one single fundamental process that holds up all of medical tech: calibration.
At its core, calibration is actually pretty simple. It's just the process of checking a device's measurements against a standard that we know for a fact is correct. It's kind of like setting your watch using one of those super accurate atomic clocks. You're just making sure your device is perfectly synced up with a source of truth that everyone trusts.
Now, people often get calibration confused with two other key ideas: verification and validation. Verification basically asks, did we build the device correctly according to the blueprints? Validation takes it a step further and asks, did we build the right device? Does it actually help the person using it? But calibration is different. It's the ongoing job of making sure that device stays accurate long after it's been built and approved. Now, to make sure this accuracy is the same everywhere, from a hospital in Boston to one in Berlin, the entire medical device industry relies on a global gold standard, a rulebook that everybody agrees to play by.
And that standard is called ISO 1345. You can think of it as the master recipe for a company's whole quality management system, or QMS. It's the complete set of rules and processes a manufacturer has to follow to prove their devices are safe, effective, and always top quality.
And the real heart of the calibration rules is in a section called Clause 7.6. It lays out this 5-step loop. You start by figuring out what needs to be measured, and then you calibrate it. But it doesn't stop there. You have to keep meticulous records. You have to protect the gear from getting bumped or messed with. And, this is so important, if you ever find a device that's off, you need a formal plan to fix it and figure out if any patients were harmed. It's a complete circle of accountability.
All right, so that's the theory. That's the rulebook. But what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, the before and after picture is pretty incredible. Let's look at the data. The real-world impact is just wow. Look at this. A study at Asia Hospital in Patna looked at their insulin pumps. Before they started a proper calibration program, that's the blue bars, only about 35% of their pumps were passing accuracy tests. But after calibration, look at the orange bars. The pass rate jumped to over 80%. That is a massive leap forward in safety for patients with diabetes. And it wasn't a one-off. The same study looked at ventilators, the machines literally breathing for the most critical patients.
The results here are even more dramatic. The pass rate shot up from a terrifyingly low 25% before calibration to nearly 90% after. This is all the proof you need. Calibration isn't just ticking a box. It's a fundamental process that makes sure life-saving equipment actually saves lives.
And this gets us to a really crucial idea. Calibration isn't just a single event you do once. It's one vital part of a much bigger system. A system that's all about building and maintaining trust through the entire life of a medical device.
This entire life cycle you see here, it's like a chain of trust. It starts with planning and buying the right gear, making sure it's installed correctly, and then, right there in the middle, you have ongoing maintenance and repair. That's where calibration lives. If that link in the chain breaks, the whole system is compromised.
And this quote, it just says it all, doesn't it? It's not about the technical jargon or the regulations. The ultimate goal, the reason all these systems exist, is to make sure that when a healthcare professional reaches for a device, it's reliable, it's available, and most importantly, it's safe for the patient.
So we end up right back where we started. The unseen guardians of our health, the machines that monitor and treat us, are only as good as their last checkup, their last calibration. Every single reading, every dose, every image depends on this hidden layer of precision. It's the very foundation of trust between us and our technology, and that's a risk we just can't afford to ignore.